Thanks for joining me. On the news, Guba polls Nigerians elect 28 state governors and 993 state lawmakers today. CP in Sokoto warns residents against movements on election day. 2023 elections, Cross River YPP deputy governorship candidate, 3 others abducted, says police. INEC explains how governorship election results will be transmitted, and Buhari signs bill mandating president governors to form cabinet within 60 days. Today, across Nigeria, the governorship and state houses of assembly elections are taking place. Also holding today are the Eastern Central / Eastern West Egbueben Federal Constituency election halted during the 25th February presidential and National Assembly polls as a result of the omission of the Labour Party logo and that of the Enugu East Central Senatorial district, which was shifted following the killing of Oyibo Chukwu, the party's candidate in the district, on 22nd February. The state elections, the second phase of the 2023 general elections, was initially scheduled for 11th March, was deferred by 1 week following a court appeal ordering granting the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) permission to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) for the exercise. This followed the 3-March expert order of the court giving some political parties to inspect materials used for the presidential poll whose results they are challenging. Unlike last month's elections held in 470 constituencies comprising 109 senatorial districts, 360 federal constituency and 1 presidential, today's exercise will hold in 1,021 state constituency, 28 governorship and 993 assembly seats. The governorship elections is holding in 28 out of 36 states of the Federation. Elections will not be conducted in Anambra, Bayelsa, Edo, Ekiti, Imo, Kogi, Ondo, and Osun states, where off-cycle polls are held at different times. The electoral calendars of those states were altered due to judicial pronouncements. INEC has already scheduled the elections in Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo for November. The exercise will not also hold in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, because it has neither a governor nor an assembly. The territory is administered by the federal government through a ministry and the National Assembly, where it is represented by a senator and 2 members in the House of Representatives. All 18 registered political parties are fielding over 400 governorship candidates in the 28 states in today's contest. The breakdown shows that Abia, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, and Taraba states have the highest number of candidates with 18 each, followed closely by Delta, Enugu, Kano, Rivers, and Sokoto with 17 candidates each. Cross River and Yobe have the least number of candidates with 11 each. The candidates emerged from the various primary elections of their parties held last year, while the court also replaced or confirmed the disputes once following litigations trailing their primaries. One candidate, Uche Ikone, the PDP candidate in the Abia who died in January, was also replaced. Some of the governorship candidates are running for their second and final term of 4 years. The 11 states where incumbent governors are seeking re-election are Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Ogun, Oyo, Yobe, and Zamfara states. The governors of the other 17 states are rounding off their tenures on 29th May, and so new governors must emerge from today's exercise. The states are Abia, Akwa Ibom, Benue, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Enugu, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Niger, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, and Taraba states. Barring any hitches or judicial pronouncements, winners of today's governorship elections, whether old or new, will be inaugurated on 29th May 2023. A total of 10,231 candidates are vying for 993 seats in the 36 state houses of assembly. Kano and Lagos states have the highest number of seats in their legislatures, which with 40, followed by Katsina with 34, Oyo and Rivers with 32, Bauchi and Kaduna with 31, and Benue, Jigawa, Anambra, and Sokoto with 30. 13 states have 24 members each. Elected lawmakers are usually inaugurated in June. In Nigeria, have a limitless term. Unlike in the previous contest where two parties were dominant in most of the state, today's elections may be different, with the impressive outing and upset created by some parties, notably the LP, SDP and NNPP. In the recent presidential and National Assembly elections, there are indications that they may also grab some seats in the state legislatures. Analysts say the battleground states are Lagos, Oyo, Kano, Adamawa, Nasarawa, Bauchi, Delta and Rivers. Although INEC registered a total of 93.5 million Nigerians for the 2023 general elections, only 87 million of them collected their permanent voters cards, PVC. Yet, not all of them will participate in today's polls because elections will not be conducted in the FCT. Also, there are 176,846 polling units, PUs, in the country where the voters will exercise their franchise, but elections will not be held in FCT's 1,328 polling units. INEC also accredited a total of 229 observer groups comprising 196 domestic and 33 international observers, all of which will be deploying 146,913 personnel for the elections. Media organizations and other relevant bodies have also been accredited to observe the elections. The military, police and other security agencies have similarly deployed their personnel in the state to secure the process, while the EFCC deploy its operatives to ensure the integrity of the elections. INEC says it is ready for the polls. It assured that it will avoid the pitfalls identified in the elections held 3 weeks ago. As we approach the governorship and state assembly election, we must work harder to overcome the challenges experienced in the last election. Nothing else will be acceptable to Nigerians, its chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, has said. It is not, however, clear if the electoral body will transmit the results of the polls electronically. Here are more reports from Jos Metropolis. With the elections in play, many polling units across the Faringada area of Jos Plateau State have recorded low turnout compared to that of the presidential polls. The electoral officials and security officials arrived at about 7 o'clock a.m. and had set up and were ready for voting to begin. Around the area, voting began at about 8 o'clock a.m. Though there is report of low turnout, there is calm and peace at the polling stations and the electoral process at most of the polling units in Naraguta B ward of the Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Mr. Musa from a polling unit 003 at Angwamekiri says that the electoral process has been peaceful thus far and is positive that the process will run smoothly and that turnout of voters at this polling unit is positive. Our correspondent, Prudence Burger, has more on the situation report.
We are at the polling unit 006 at Sambarumba, Jos Plateau State. And the elections have begun. The voting process has begun, as you can see. Everybody is peaceful, everybody is working accordingly, and everything is going on accordingly. It seems like everything is going too smooth, but we are positive that this is for the good and for the better. And we will be listening to some reactions from people around here. Excuse me, good morning.
Morning.
I'm from Equa Television.
Hello, good morning. This is polling unit 006, Semarumba. My name is Margaret, and I just voted. Well, if you can see, there's really low turnout of voters. I think people are disappointed with the way the whole election went last time, because last time I was here as of 8 a.m. and I voted around after 6. So people were really disappointed with the whole turnout of the presidential election. And then if you can look, you see a low turnout of voters in my polling units. Well, I voted. We just hope the best candidate wins. Thank you.
Also, from one of our correspondents, Rachel Tanzi, she said the polling unit or zone rather at Old Government House Rayfield in Jos Plateau State has different polling unit week codes 006, 018 and 023. At 6:50 a.m. there were over hundreds of voters taking numbers and waiting for the election process to begin. INEC officials arrived with materials and started setting up at precisely 7 a.m. Before the arrival of INEC officials, a few security personnel were at the zone. However, before the election process started, over 10 NSCDC personnel and police officers were present. The electoral process started at 8:30 a.m. Both registration and vote casting were done at the same time. All party observers and agents were present and granted some interviews. Observers from ECOWAS and the Ministry of Interior were present. However, they declined to be interviewed as it was against their policy. An interview with voters revealed that the election process so far has been smooth and their expectation of INEC to deliver their mandate is high. Let's hear Rachel.
The presidential poll has come and gone. However, the fight for power is not yet over. Today, people are out to vote for the governorship candidate of their choice, and every candidate in this race at this moment are still having their high hopes, not knowing their fate yet. At this polling zone at Rayfield Old Government House, there are 3 polling units with codes 006, 018, and 023. So far, the voting process has been smooth. INEC were on time and came at exactly 7 a.m. and the voting process, as promised, started 8:30. Now, so far, so good. The voting process has been smooth. The beavers are working. Accreditation alongside voting has been going on, and there have been a number of people, a lot of people that have voted within a short period of time. We have foreign observers even in the premises from ECOWAS and from the Ministry of Interior that have come to make sure that INEC and the process is going on well. Voters have expressed their expectation for this voting process, and with the way things are going, they believe that INEC would deliver their mandate as expected.
Now, against today's election, CP Shetima Zanna, the newly posted Commissioner of Police in charge of gubernatorial and state assembly polls in Sokoto State, has, in line with the directives of the Inspector General of Police, ordered restriction of all vehicular movements on roads from 12 midnight on Friday to 6 p.m. on election day in the state, with the exclusions of those on essential services such as electoral observers, accredited media, ambulances, and firefighting vehicles. In the same vein, all security aids to VIPs and escorts are banned from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling units and collation centers during the elections. The state-established and private security units, quasi-security outfits, are also banned from participating in election security management, says the Commissioner of Police. Members of the public are seriously warned to adhere strictly with the restriction order, and any person or group of persons that attempt to test our will be engaging in political violence or violating this order will be dealt with decisively. Parents are advised to discourage their children and wards accordingly. The CP is assuring the residents of Sokoto State that the Nigeria Police Force will coordinate effectively with all the security agencies in the state and collaborate with the leadership of INEC in guaranteeing a safe and secure space for the citizens to freely exercise their electoral franchise. According to the Commissioner, the public can contact the Command Control Room via contact number 070-688-48035 for any emergency or distress. Police in Cross River State, South Nigeria, have confirmed the abduction of deputy governorship candidate of the Young Progressives Party, YPP, in the state, Agbo Onyi. The police spokesperson in Cross River, Irene Ugbo, said, according to reports on Friday in Calabar, that Mr. Onyi and 3 others were abducted along the Calabar-Ogoja Highway. She said among those abducted was an assistant superintendent of immigration, Imojara. Ms. Ugbo, a superintendent of police, said the 4 persons were traveling to Northern Cross River for Saturday's election when they were abducted on Thursday evening. The victims were traveling in a Toyota Corolla when the kidnappers stopped the vehicle and took them away into the forest. One of the occupants, Mrs. Sandra Igbung, is the wife of an aide to Governor Ben Ayade, the police spokesperson said. Ms. Ugbo said the police were working to ensure their release. The Commissioner of Police in charge of election has directed that drastic action should be taken. It is being worked on. Let us hope and pray that before today everything will be fine, she added. A source who spoke on condition of anonymity in the report said the kidnappers had earlier demanded 60 million naira ransom, which they later reduced to 40 million naira. Still on the news, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has disclosed how results from polling units will be transmitted after the governorship and House of Assembly elections taking place across the Federation today. Yesterday, the chairman of INEC's Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said the commission had learnt worthy lessons from the presidential and National Assembly polls. Okoye stressed that the law has prescribed a dual mode of either transmission of results or transfer of results. He explained that the presiding officer who superintended the polling units will enter the scores of the various political parties in Form EC8A, which is the polling unit level results after the conclusion of elections in various units, adding that presiding officers must sign that particular and copies must be given to relevant stakeholders. The PO will sign that particular result sheet and stamp it. The PU agent or party agent, if available, will also countersign, and copies will be given to them and the police. Okoye added that original results will be what will be scanned and uploaded to our INEC results viewing portal IREF for public viewing. Not only that, the accreditation data that have arisen from polling units will also be uploaded, but the fiscal results and the BVAS itself will also be taken to the registration area collation center. He also stressed that the collation officer will be able to verify the original results. The BVAS have the benefits of looking at the accreditation data as transmitted and the result sheet as transmitted from the polling unit. Okoye further stated that results will be transmitted on IREF as soon as the polls close from various polling units. Okoye added that INEC is prepared to conduct the 28 governorship and 993 state assembly constituency elections. The commission has, however, been ordered to electronically transmit today's governorship and House of Assembly election results in accordance with its regulations and guidelines. And finally, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Idris Wase, has confirmed that President Muhammadu Buhari has signed 16 constitutional amendment bills into law. Wase, in a statement issued on Friday, commended Buhari, noting that the laws grant more powers to the state. The bills signed into law include financial independence for state houses of assemblies and state judiciary. Others include bills that seek to remove railway, prison, and electricity from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent list. Buhari also signed a bill that mandates the president and governors submit the names of nominees for the positions of ministers or commissioners within 60 days of being sworn in to be confirmed by the Senate or State House of Assembly. With the new law, the president-elect Bola Tinubu will have to name his cabinet within 2 months after taking oath of office on 29th May. A recap of stories says Guba Post, Nigerians elect 28 state governors, 993 state lawmakers today. CP in Sokoto warns residents against movement on election day. 2023 elections, Cross River YPP deputy governorship candidate, 3 others abducted, says police. INEC explains how governorship election results will be transmitted, and Buhari signs bill mandating president governors to form cabinet within 60 days. Thanks for watching. I remain Lois Strike.